jam full packed of great content, speakers, and hiring companies today. And yes, this event is being recorded, and you will be able to see this event, look at the webinar at a later date as well if you miss anything and you want to go back and review it. So first of all, what I'd like you all to do is open your chat box. Your chat box is down at the bottom of your screen. And if you could just jump on, and if some people have already started. So thanks, Julia, for getting us started. Where are you calling in from? Tell us a little bit about what kind of job that you are looking for. And sometime today, I would love for you to drop in your LinkedIn URL. And that will allow us to connect with each other. And even though we're in a virtual environment, be able to network and connect with each other, at least through LinkedIn. So perfect, Shelly, thank you for that. Denver, yep, she's telling us she's a little chilly in Denver this morning. So, so if you could go just drop in where you're calling in from, the type of job you're looking for, and then your LinkedIn URL. And it's really great if you make your LinkedIn URL clickable. And what we mean by that is it turns blue. And that is because you can't copy and paste the chat for security reasons. And so if you make it clickable, then someone can go out right to your LinkedIn URL and connect with you directly. All right, so today, the best view typically is called speaker view. So if you go up to the right of your screen, if you're looking at this on a computer, and you click speaker, it's called side-by-side speaker. That's typically the best view because you will get the PowerPoint, and then you will get the speaker that is talking at that time. And so that is the best view for during the presentation time. Let's see. Also, make sure as people are dropping in their LinkedIn URLs, you're connecting with them. Feel free to reach out to our speakers. Feel free to reach out directly to other people that are on the call today and engage, and make sure you reach out to at least 5, because we're doing our best to help facilitate engagement and connections. And we're all about connections and engagement. And we know that's where people land really great jobs. And so, all right, I think that's everything to get us started. And I would like to do an introduction to our keynote speaker today. And I'm really excited. Chelle and I know each other from her time in Arizona. She currently lives in Colorado, but she was a director of talent acquisition for a company that we worked with a lot over the years. And so, Chelle, I'm thrilled that you're here. She is a first-generation college graduate who grew up with limiting beliefs, fear, and dysfunction. But through faith, resilience, grit, and determination, she achieved executive leadership roles in talent acquisition and HR at Fortune 50 companies, including Comcast, Lockheed Martin, Quest Diagnostics, and Honeywell. She has lived and worked in Asia and Latin America, acquired her MBA, and speaks Spanish and English. And she now helps high achievers and diversity allies discover and amplify their strengths and purpose and realize their abundance in their careers and lives. Chelle is a career ally, I love that, a change maker, and a positive mental fitness authority who helps people be their best. She loves guiding people to get crystal clear on who they are and what they want, and building the courage and confidence to achieve those personal and professional goals. She is known for coaching and advising people to listen to their inner wisdom, take risks, build their bravery, and have the courage to seek and live their best lives. Chelle Johnson, welcome. We are so excited to have you here today.
Hi, everyone, and it is 30 degrees here in Denver, Colorado. I do not miss the hot summers. I am born and raised in Arizona. I went to Camelback High School, then I went to NAU up in Flagstaff, then I went to Thunderbird, so we're born and bred in Arizona. I have been in Colorado for 5 years, but the inspiration and the network and the community that Jessica and her team have built inspired me to do the same thing in Colorado. I now founded Colorado Career Connectors, and we'll be putting some information in for you. So Jess, thank you so much for that very awesome and kind of humbling introduction. Let's get started. Some of you might be asking, what on earth is mental fitness? So I'm going to talk all about that and how that relates to your career journey. I have to be honest, when Mandiza was playing in the music, that you are an overcomer. No matter if you are in a job search right now, that you've been laid off due to COVID or a company being bought out or whatever reason, I want you to know we understand that. And you are an overcomer, but you have to have the right mental fitness. And you notice I'm not talking about mental health. Mental health for the longest time has been this stigma, but yet our therapists and psychologists are inundated because so many people have realized that they need some help, especially over the past 20 months. And if that's you, that is okay. So yes, this picture, there are fall leaves here in Colorado where it's just brown in Arizona. If you ever want to come visit up here, I welcome you. So in Arizona, I was the head of talent for Sonora Quest Labs. So if you've ever been in a Banner hospital or went to a Sonora Quest laboratory, basically my team hired everyone that works there. I did that for 8 years. I also was in HR for companies in Arizona like Poor Brothers Potato Chips and CareWise Health. Then I got promoted to the big boys, Lockheed Martin and Comcast. And I left in 2019 because I felt completely burnt out, stressed, overwhelmed. And I felt like the universe was calling me to do something different. And so I started my own business and I have not looked back. So I know that feeling of wanting to leave something you're not loving, of feeling like your soul has been crushed. So let's jump in and chat about that today. Have you ever felt like this? You know, these babies, your inner kid is like screaming and crying, I can't do this anymore. Maybe you felt disconnected, overwhelmed, burnt out, stressed, insignificant, undervalued, or you're just like, I can't take the bro culture anymore if you are a BIPOC or a woman. I want you to put in the chat, how many of you can resonate with feeling like this, like scratching your head going, what on earth has been happening? And you want to be that overcomer. I want to see some participation. I love participation, interaction, and engagement. And as the speaker, I'm just looking right at my camera, but you're a whole world away. So let me know if this resonates with you. I'm going to check out the chat. Oh, Gabby, right? For a long time. Yes, all of it. Definitely have felt overwhelmed. So part of what I love doing is working with underrepresented minorities, BIPOC, and women specifically, because I know how that feels. And I led diversity, equity, and inclusion for Honeywell. And then I was also on the Diversity Council and Equity Council for Lockheed Martin. So I speak with lots of women's groups, LGBTQ. I just spoke with the Adelante Hispanic group for Dish Network. So I'm mentioning this because it is our time. It is your time to get the right mental fitness and stop feeling like these babies. Thank you so much for the input. So let's chat about how do we do that? You know, when it's time for a change, you feel it in your soul. You feel it, your head is telling you one thing, but your heart and your soul are not engaged. It's like the bridge between here and here is broken. If I've captured your attention, I want you to know that I am soul inspired and I work off of spiritual guidance. And if that gets too woo-woo for you, that's okay. We'll continue with scientifically proven types of things. But I do think that you are here for a reason, that you are feeling that it is time for a change. Let's get really specific on how I personally help high achieving, soul inspired professionals, how to amplify their awesome in their career, but much more importantly, in their lives. I built this framework based off of all of my experience in corporate, but also my experience as a human, because the soul has no color. The soul believes and is aligned to everyone. So I want you to be amplified, to pivot, to transform, and to learn how to amplify your personal awesome. The first step is that you have to have a vision and a purpose and know where you're going. If you are not sure what you want to do next in your career, or if the next chapter in your life, if you want to open a business, go in a franchise, go into something totally different and leverage your transferable skills, you might be asking, how do I do that? You have to really focus on your vision and your purpose. When you align that with mental fitness and mindset, you will amplify, you will resonate, you will have a ripple effect of positivity that greases the gears of your strategy and your tactics. But you have to be consistent. Some days, as a job seeker or someone who wants career advancement, it can get pretty depressing when you get another rejection letter. How many of you can relate to that? I have worked with lots of bridesmaids and lots of silver candidates who were this close. They thought that job was going to be theirs, but then they hear, oh, you didn't have industry experience. Or maybe you're thinking that your age is holding you back, or that something you said is holding you back. So this framework is what we're going to focus on, but we're going to focus on the second gear, which is mindset, which is mental fitness. So it really starts with a vision. You cannot build an effective system without a clear vision. Think about the companies that are in Arizona. They all have their mission and their values and their purpose. You have to have that as well. Vision questions that you might answer are, what am I naturally good at? Let me repeat that. What are you naturally good at? I take my clients through about 10 to 15 questions that we journal on, that we get very specific on, and that you dig deep. Because as a career coach, I'm not just a career coach. I'm a kind of like a career therapist, a career strategist, and an expert with, I need your help today. I'm about to go over 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. So I need your help. I really want you to connect with me. If I can personally help with your vision, that's great. But you got to optimize your mindset. Imagine having the courage and the confidence to go into an interview and feel like you can answer those pain points, that you know the pain and the Sunday night problem of the employer, and that you are the solution to those obstacles, that you can communicate your value so that you are paid what you're worth. Finding a company that aligns with your values. So many times I have so many conversations with people who just are working for a toxic boss. They have no work-life harmony. The expectations at home, for example, my daughter was sent home because there were some kids in her class that did test positive. She's at home doing homeschooling now. All of those pieces, I want you to resonate, to be confident, to be clear, and to have that workplace harmony. So what do I mean by mental fitness? It's your capacity to respond to life's challenges with positive rather than a negative mindset. It impacts your peak performance, your peace of mind and wellness, and healthy relationships. And I'm going to give you story after story about that. And you might be saying, well, that is so simple. It's actually not. And this isn't woo-woo. It's based on research and scientifically proven to change the neural pathways in your brain. Positive intelligence and mental fitness is based off of a book and a program by Shirzad Chamine, and I'm happy to put that in the chat when I'm done. It's a 7-week program that is kind of like a mental workout. You do 15 to 20 minutes a day. You have a video a day, and a video a week, and you have a community that meets together. And it's all based off of positive psychology, cognitive psychology, neuroscience, and performance science. And it's been tested and proven on over 500,000 people in 50 countries. Religion does not matter. Age does not matter. Cultural and ancestral ties do not matter with this. It really is about changing the fear, that stress, that anger, and that guilt, that survival brain that we all have, especially when we're under stress. And we're going to call that brain the saboteur. That's sabotaging you and hijacking you from living your best life, from asking what you're worth, for knowing that when you go into an interview, you are going to resonate and pivot and amplify and increase and go higher with your conversations. So there is all of these negative emotions that we feel. Positive intelligence and mental fitness motivates through empathy. And I don't mean just empathy for others, because the biggest area that we all need improvement is that empathy for ourselves. When you don't get that job, when you don't get that promotion or that raise or that presentation that you gave, in your mind, you know, that critical judge, that monkey mind that analyzes everything. How many of you can relate to you are your worst critic? That you are not as curious or creative when you're under stress. So when I refer to the saboteurs, that's that survival brain, stress, fear, anxiety. When I talk about sage, this is your wisdom. This is your soul inspired wisdom. And I just want to make sure we're good on vernacular. So I'm going to check the chat because I think there's a question. Is that program Heart Math? Can we attend from a link chat, please? Mary, that's a great question. As a certified positive intelligence, it's not Heart Math, but my husband loves Heart Math, and many practitioners of positive intelligence align it with Heart Math, and the results have been amazing. So great question. Let me just make sure that there are other questions. Thank you. So that judge we have in our head, the one that is, lots of my clients have named like Cruella or Maleficent or Miss Bitchy Pants or Judgy Judge McPherson or Gollum, you know, from like Hello My Pretty, what the Lord of the Rings, whatever your judge might be named, or maybe you don't want to give the power to your judge because they don't run your life anymore. So next slide. Okay. Yes, there will be a link. The saboteurs are, maybe you're a controller, maybe you're a hyperachiever or restless. Right now, if you're in a job search, you're probably restless to find another opportunity or restless to figure something out. And as women, for example, a lot of us are pleasers. If you are, maybe you're avoiding something, maybe you're a victim or a stickler or a hypervigilant or hyper-rational. I'm not sure how many of you had the opportunity to take the test and the assessment beforehand, but if you did, I'd love to understand what you are. Personally, I'm a controller and I'm a hyperachiever and I'm a pleaser. The controller piece comes out where I walk into a room and I can be like, I need to change that, that, and that. Can anyone relate to that? Or you want to make such an impact that you say yes to too many things, even though you really want to say no because that pleaser in you comes out. Or maybe you're a hyperachiever. Yes, I was director at Comcast, and up and up and up, but are you happy? Are you happy with what you're doing? So here is the link that you can actually go take the positive intelligence assessment to find out your results of what might be sabotaging your success. So there's a QR code on here. Go ahead and take a picture of that. And Sheila, can you put this link in the chat? I'm not sure who does that. I have a whole list of stuff I can put on here. 1 second, please. These links are ready to go. Cool. I'm putting more links as to how you can get in touch with me and find out more about this, since you guys have been asking for links. There are some. So if you find out your results, now some of you might be asking, well, what's the difference between emotional intelligence and positive intelligence? Did that go through anybody's mind? So EQ is very, very popular in leadership development, professional development. EQ has, I think, 24 to 27 different components that you have to recognize in order to style switch to really understand how to best work with different people. Positive intelligence has 10. It's really focused on how do we quiet that judge in your brain? Because that judge in your brain, what is it telling you? That you're not good enough? That your voice doesn't have meaning? That you're a disappointment? That if you have to do a presentation in front of 100 people, that no one will want to hear your message? I want to hear in the chat, what is your judge telling you? If anybody would be courageous enough to do that, because we all have it. When you change things and you move to the sage, this lives in a region of your brain where you can be more creative, you can be more visionary and see the big picture. Thank you, Dina. I know how that feels to not be enough, definitely. So what we want to build is peace and calm and clear-headed focus for your interviews, for your networking, for your advancement, for your stretch assignment, for your speaking gig, for whatever it might be. Oh, Julia, that is a big lie. You are not past your prime. I'm part of a group called Second Act Women here in Colorado, and I'm their career coach for women over 40, but most of my clients are in their 45 to 65. I have a client who's 65 who just got 2 offers in 1 day. So you are not over your prime, I promise. Okay. So there are 5 sage powers. That first one is empathy, and we're going to really dig into empathy. The next one is, how would you explore life differently rather than living on the same hamster wheel? Because you know the definition of insanity, don't you? Doing the same thing over and over and over, like looking at all the job boards and feeling like you are applying in the abyss and then never hearing anything back. Or being ghosted. How many of you have been ghosted? I know I have. It's innovation, navigation, and action. So these are your takeaways. Get a pen and paper, write down, take a screenshot. This is really for you. So do whatever you need to hear what resonates best with you. Empathy for yourself and for others. I'm sorry that you're being ghosted, Carol. Yeah, it's too many times to count. Okay, so you feel like this guy, like I just cannot apply anymore. But then maybe you squash those feelings Empathy toward yourself is when you start to build that mental muscle of, it's okay. This job did not come through. I have another one that will. It's having empathy. And if you're having a bad day, or if you feel like that job you're about to apply to does not resonate and you're not getting the right gut instinct, that's a sign. And having empathy for not forcing a solution, but having faith versus fear. And I'm not talking about just religious faith, although that is beautiful. I'm talking about that faith in yourself so that you know when you're resonating at your highest. The thing that has helped my clients the most is having a holistic approach to empathy and their job search. So even it's getting cooler now in Arizona. So get out and take a walk for at least 15 minutes a day. Notice the beautiful, if you're walking by the Biltmore, maybe it's the golf course. If you're walking, I don't know where y'all are calling in from, but get out, put your phone down, literally get rid of technology for 15 minutes and feel your breathing. Look at the leaves on the trees, understand, connect with a friend. That connection and being with others, we are not meant to be by ourselves. We are meant to be connected at the heart level and soul level with others. If you've been looking at a water bottle, because you definitely need to drink a lot of water in Arizona, gift yourself a water bottle that says, si se puede, for example, yes, I can, or the universe has your back, or whatever is inspiring to you, to remind you every day that you are a gift, that you are enough, that you are worth it. So connection, physicality, movement as well. When I left corporate, I became a Zumba instructor. I see a couple of you smiling at that. Like, yes, Zumba instructor. So when the music was playing, I was singing. What are you doing to move? Because movement and flow is so much better than stagnicity. Do you go to Lifetime Fitness? Are you a triathlete? Do you like to cook? Are you moving something in your life? Danielle, come to Colorado and I'll definitely do a Zumba class with you. If you love to cook, if you love to play tennis, if you like to hike, Camelback Mountain, Squaw Peak, wherever it might be, you have to get out and take a walk. This brings empathy and movement for you. I'm just doing a time check and doing a check of the chat. Great. So how are you going to give yourself empathy? Are you going to gift yourself something? Are you going to go up to Sedona and go to a crystal shop? Are you going to go down to Tucson and go to a U of A game? Are you going to go up to NAU or go to Flagstaff and see the fall leaves changing? Are you going to go to Jerome or Bisbee to do those stairs? Wherever it might be for you, Thanksgiving is coming up. What would it look like to write a gratitude list and then share it with someone in 5 days? Because if you share it with someone, you're 10 times more likely to do it. If you have an accountability partner in your job search, you are so much more likely to ask for help. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. So let's go to the next one. How do you explore life differently? What is the one thing in your work or life where a much deeper level of understanding or exploration would have the biggest possible impact? Do you want to explore going back to learn how to code? Going to a boot camp? Do you want to get a certification in Agile or Scrum or PMP or whatever it might be? Do you want to help the frontline workers within Banner Hospital? Do you want to help with sustainability, environmental sustainability and government? You walked around Desert Botanical Garden for an hour. Oh my gosh. It's one of my favorite places. It's right next to the zoo. Go to the zoo, see the animals. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. So I want you to write down with that pen that you have, what is that one thing in your life that you want to explore? Do you want to take a class on history? Do you want to take a cooking class of history? Do you want to go to Sur La Table? in Scottsdale. Butterfly Museum, I love it. You could go to MIM, the Musical Instrument Museum in Scottsdale. You also need to explore the Sunday night problem as a job seeker. And the Sunday night problem is, what are the main pain points and obstacles that keep the employers up at night? One of my clients is a past COO of a very well-known technology company in Arizona, and it kept growing and growing and growing, but his soul felt crushed. So he started talking to his network, and he found the pain points of one of his associates, if you will, or like a vendor. He's now flying, loving life, because he went through positive intelligence. He was able to leverage a lot of understanding the pain points, exploring things differently, having a lot more empathy for himself to understand he was not happy. And he also innovated, which is the next piece. So you might have heard of this, but I want you to choose one word for 2022. What that means is that you're not going to do a New Year's resolution, that you determine what you want to do different in 2022. What are the characteristics that you want to lean into? So pick one word, and it doesn't have to resonate right now, but if it does, I want you to put it in the chat. My word for 2021 was pause, because life was so fast. I would be so reactive and not proactive that by pausing, I had the opportunity to really hear what the universe had in mind for me. Is your word pause? Is it you want more spontaneity? Do you want more joy? Is it you want to be more playful and do a Zumba class? You want to be more playful and actually pause and declutter. Okay, I have to talk about this. Thank you so much. Rest. That's a beautiful one. So one of my clients chose declutter. So many things in her house, but her schedule, she wanted to declutter. She had so many things going on for other people, and she went through positive intelligence. One of her saboteurs was pleaser. So she started decluttering her schedule, saying no to things that really did not resonate for her, because I want you to know that no is a complete sentence. Megan, I see you smiling there, that no is a complete sentence. And I see, Jess, you're smiling at that. So what is your word? Rest, focus. I love it. Prioritize. What do you want to prioritize? How do you change things up so that your mind is not running you? You are running your mind, because you're leaning in to how you want to innovate and live differently. Playfulness. All right. That's awesome. I love that. Honestly, I have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old, and I go to the playground and I swing. I get on that merry-go-round and I laugh. What are you doing for movement? Go get dizzy on the merry-go-round. What does all of this have to do with a career? And how are you going to take action? How are you going to show more empathy for yourself? Are you going to get an accountability partner? Who are you going to reach out to when you get a no and you feel like you're about to explode? Who do you reach out to? Who is in your circle to connect with? Because that connection is going to help your heart and your soul. How are you going to innovate differently? What do you want to explore differently? And what is your word? So those are 4 takeaways that have direct connection to your career. Think about if you read the Arizona Business Journal or the Phoenix Business Journal. Who is 40 under 40? What companies are growing and scaling? What about the Arizona Technology Council? What do they need help with? What companies are growing? What areas are having huge need? Healthcare, ESG, environment, sustainability, and governance, community, nonprofits. How are you going to find their pain points, to create a message, and to make small pivots and amplify your awesome? You can't do that if that judge in your head is telling you you're too old, or you're not good enough, or you're going to be a disappointment, or you got laid off and who's going to want to hire you. I want you to know it's a candidate market. Now is your time. You should absolutely be busy in November and December because people have the budget. They want to hire. I've had 8 clients land in the past 7 weeks with an average of a 32% increase in pay. It's because they know their vision. They have the right mental fitness. They're doing the right strategy. They have the tactics, and they're consistent. In order to fast track your resume, these are the ingredients: your consistency, your positivity, all of these things combined, that equation equals amplification. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. We're doing okay on time. Here's the thing though, you've got to get out of your way because you're your worst critic. That inner critic, that judge, is stopping you from being your best self. You were meant to live life at a bigger perspective, but you gotta trust. Because the truth is, you have this. You have this. You are an overcomer. You stay in life till the final round. And I am taking a verse from Mendisa. You're not going under. The universe is watching you right now. You might be down for a moment, but you're going to get back up. But you got to have the right mental fitness. Jess, I hope you don't mind me like going into like overcomer. Why was that song so important to me? Because the year that came out, my husband and I were separated. We overcame that because we trusted ourselves. You have to trust yourself. And if you don't, that's when you need to ask for help. So I don't know about you, but this year was a big year for Simone Biles. And you might be seeing a lot of diversity in my slides. I do that purposely because what would life be like without inclusion? Simone Biles states, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you're going and how you pick yourself back up from those falls. We've all had them. We've all had those days where we just want to go back in and cover up with that blanket. Here's the thing. You have to dream big, and then you've got to dream bigger. If those inner critics and that judge is holding you back from dreaming and being curious and innovative, you've got to break out of that cycle because you are not a hamster on a wheel. You are a beautiful soul that is meant to be here right now. You have a vision. You got to dream bigger. You never know where your dream's going to take you. This inspired me, and I think it's inspired so many people around the country and the world. Positive intelligence can help you with that. I'm a certified coach. I take people through a 7-week program. It's actually 7 weeks because I add on a little bit to it. It's 1 video a week, so an hour, 15 minutes of practicing a day on a mobile app where it interrupts your day purposely. You don't do all of it in the morning, and it's not just mindfulness. It's actually 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. It's a book, but here's the greatest thing. It's a community of other job seekers or people who are lived in toxic environments, undervalued. I've worked with over 50 people in positive intelligence this year. Only 2 have not landed. The average is 32% increase in pay. You use it not just for your job search, you use it on your onboarding to connect, to make deeper connections, to manage stress, to focus on leadership development. So if you are interested in this, I would love to invite you to learn more from me. In the chat, I actually put, I'm having a webinar on December 2nd that goes a lot more into the 10 areas of positive intelligence. I'd invite you to join me. Oh, thank you, Miriam. I'm glad that you like it. I invite you to join me. Let's go back to those babies. I don't want you to be like this anymore, or scratching your head or wondering what's next for you. I want you to feel like Simone Biles, like an Olympian, like you are going to find what you want to do. You're going to have empathy for yourself. You're going to innovate in a different way. You're going to explore and take action and navigate conversations differently. That's what this has done for my clients. This is what it's personally done for me, to be a better mom to a 14-year-old who had some issues through COVID, to be a better wife, to be a better coach, to be happier with who I am. My programs are for men and women, absolutely for everyone. I've had couples do it with me. I have had high achieving women, the head of like very high women out of Arizona and Colorado and actually across the world. And it's your turn to feel much better and just to be confident with who you are. I put some things in the chat, and you can also go on my webpage to get your guide to amplifying your own awesome. And there are questions in there on how to focus on your vision. This is a free guide for you. I put the guide in the chat. I'm happy to do that after. And then in the breakout sessions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And for the recruiters online today, I have led recruiting teams. I know how hard your job is. I know how burnt out you are. I work with recruiters. I'm parts of lots of SHRM. Let me know how I can help you as well. I'm actually doing part-time recruitment. I feel for you. I know how inundated you are. This is what I do. I am so grateful to be able to help people all over the world now amplify their awesome, to get better jobs and fast track their careers by simplifying, innovating, having exploration in a different way. It made me so innovative that I started Colorado Career Connectors, which has grown to over 640 people in 8 months through a pandemic. I'd love for you to join us there too. I bring in the head of talent acquisition from large companies, as well as amazing speakers, just like Jess does. Jess has been an inspiration for over 40,000 people, and I'm so grateful, blessed that I've had a chance to work with her and her husband. Let me know if I can help you. I will be here throughout all of the speakers and in the breakout room. It's been an absolute pleasure. Whoop, whoop. And you are an overcomer. So amplify your awesome and build that mental fitness for a positive life and positive career.
Thank you so much, Chelle. Hey, we have about 15 minutes left, actually. Yeah, so I wanted to see if there was, I'm looking through for the questions, but is there any part of your content that you want to dive into a little bit more since we have some extra time?
Yes, I would love to dive into, thank you. That went a little bit faster than I thought, Jess. Okay, uploads, career amplifier. Thank you for putting that in, awesome info. So let's go a little bit into how many of you out there, oops, I want to go back. How many of you took the assessment? If you did, let's go back there and talk about what came out for you, or as a job seeker or a recruiter, what is your inner critic telling you? What are the lies that your inner critic is telling you? And then let's kind of focus on that for a little bit. And courageous vulnerability is absolutely something we want and love. And you guys, this topic's not easy. Are we getting anything in the chat? I can't see.
No, I don't know if everyone had the assessment link before the event today, so I'm not sure about that. So I'm actually taking it right now. I don't know if anyone else is as well.
Okay, why don't you take it and kind of feel like I'm a mess after? That is what the judge is telling you, Deanne. You're a mess. You can't do it right. It's an inner critic, isn't it really a part of what you feel and how you act? So there's some questions coming in. Let me take the first one. Deanne, you're not a mess. It's just the primal recording that's been going on over and over and over in your head. And when something happens, your response is that from fear or stress or anger. And the judge is accompanied by what we call accomplices. So I'm not sure what your particular, mine is. I'm a hyperachiever and I'm a controller. And what that means is that before mental fitness, I would want to control, oh my gosh, I have to make sure everything is perfect and I have to look a certain way and I can't relax because I have to achieve. That achievement monster, and it is a monster, is you're a director at a Fortune 50 company. What's next? You're not good enough at that anymore. You need to go higher, but your family life, you're traveling all over, but your family life isn't there. For me, it was recognizing that it is a monster and that's not what I wanted. And I needed to relax, and I'm no longer a perfectionist, believe it or not. So put in what your saboteurs are. Mary, to answer your question, if it's an inner critic, isn't it really a part of what you feel and how you act? Yes, it is a part of what you feel. So empathy is a feeling. Fear is a feeling. You're giving power to your fear. Stress is also a feeling. But think about what stress does. I have literally had people in my programs that their jobs were killing them. Their health went out the door. And Jess, I think you might be able to relate to this. Jess and I, well, for example, I this year lost 15 pounds. I'm a Zumba instructor. I couldn't do that before because stress was holding me down. Stress was getting in my way. I was overwhelmed by all these things I thought I should be for other people. So it is how you act. If you're acting off of negativity, think about how you're resonating for recruiters. Think about how you're resonating for interviewers. Does this make sense for everyone?
Yeah, I love these kind of assessments because there's a whole bunch of different kinds out there, but they give us really good insight into who we are and how we deal with different situations.
Exactly. So Deanne, thanks for being courageously vulnerable. Victim, you might be feeling like a victim because you were laid off or because you are not getting what you need. That stickler part of you is a gift. It's an absolute gift for making sure things are right, for being detail oriented. But sometimes it gets in your way because you might be a perfectionist or holding yourself back from moving into something that you want because you think you have to have it in this black and white way. And you're restless because you want something different, that you're used to having financial stability and maybe you're not right now, but that's okay. So all of these things, imagine all of victim, stickler, restless, at the same time with the judge. We've got to quiet that judge. I have some examples of that. One of my clients is the director. Oh, I'm explaining why you're here today. Okay, one of my clients is a leader in Colorado for training and development. Her boss, so toxic, condescending, degrading. So her victim started to come out. She gave her power and her confidence out and felt so insecure that she could not perform no matter what she did because there was so much stress. And she was restless because she wanted something different. She just got done with this positive intelligence program. We got her branding right. We got her story right. Because if you're resonating at a lower level, the way you tell your story and the way you speak your truth is not spiraling in a positive way. It's not amplifying yourself. So she just interviewed for a new role and they saw her value, that they went to the CFO and they asked for $10,000 more in pay for her and a sign-on bonus. In 7 weeks, that's the difference she made. I've had men in the program who could not be vulnerable, would not be vulnerable. There's a part in positive intelligence where we actually talk to your inner child, which is why I bring babies here. Who are you really? That is what we find. I just went to a webinar this week, guys, and it talked about, if I were to have you do I am statements. I don't want to hear things like I am not worthy. I am too fat. I have braces. One of my clients was the head of HR and she had braces and she literally thought she would not get hired because people would think she's not professional enough because of her braces. I've had men who are like, I don't look right, or I'm too old. That's because their judge is leading their life. So who am I? I am abundant. Are you abundant? Is abundance your word? I'd like to see more in the chat because I feel like I'm talking an awful lot. Okay, so I am abundant. I am passionate. I am soulful. I am truth, honesty, loving. I'm a heart hearer, meaning I hear your heart. Abundant is your word. Woohoo! I am flow. I have movement. I am change. I am full of life. I am connected. I am observant, spiritual, and belonging. Are you any of those things? I love abundance. Awesome. Get rid of scarcity living and live with abundance. Think about if you have a scarcity mindset. There's not enough to go around. I'm not worth that much money. How is that going to resonate when you go to negotiate your salary? It's not. So my question to you is, what are the biggest issues that you're finding right now in the job search? Or, because I am a coach, I am a heart hearer and I belong because you belong. The soul has no color. Hyperachiever and controller are my two. Motivation to look awesome. Oh, Jess, imagine that. Hyperachiever and controller. Oh my gosh. You and I need to be like Wonder Twin powers. Activate. Exactly. Motivation to look. It's really hard to look for a job when you feel like you're restless. Like, where do I look? How do I look? There's so many remote options right now. I'm personally recruiting for customer, like technology positions and customer support leaders and product management for a remote, and they love remote. So I'll put the company I'm recruiting for. So if y'all know anybody, that would be awesome. Recruiters, I'd love to hear from you. What are the pain points that you're seeing from candidate?
Shelley, let me ask you a question since we're waiting on that piece and you only have a couple minutes here.
Okay.
As people learn their results, what's the next thing they should do? Like, how can they incorporate this into their job search, into kind of their mindset moving forward?
So this is not your label. This is just something that's coming up for you now. First of all, it's awareness. Recognizing that you have these types of things. The next would be, I would say, go on positiveintelligence.com and watch the TED Talk from Shirzad Chamine. He is the coach for CEOs and billionaires in Silicon Valley. They have the same saboteurs that you do. They have the same limiting beliefs that you do. And then honestly, I would love for you to attend my December 2nd, where we are going to unravel positive intelligence, what it's done, have stories, and really lean into what it does for the career. but just realize that you are not alone. It takes a community. Going to events like this, finding a community. There's lots of free events for you. I've spoken at 905 here in Colorado. I've spoken in different Christian ministries in Northern Virginia. Figure out where your people are, ask for help. Okay, so many of the resumes I'm receiving are people hopping from job to job. I need people who are going to stick around. I love that. Thank you, Debbie. Don't be a job hopper. And if you're in a job that's toxic, get the right mental fitness to help you. So the next steps, go to my website. Let's chat. How can I help you with this? Get the book, Positive Intelligence, download the audiobook for it. But know that there is a different way, and get the free guide, because the guide really tells you, how do you look at your vision? How do you focus on your mental fitness? How do you have the right strategy and the right tactics to then grease the gears of your job search with positivity and amplification? That's my recommendation.
Awesome. All right, Chelle, well, we're going to finish up here. So thank you for diving into this a little bit more. Any last thoughts before we close out?
No, I just want you to know that you've got to dream and dream bigger, because you're worth it. And it's time for you to amplify your awesome. I made that up because you got to build your courage, build your brave, but you really have to amplify and resonate at a higher level. So thank you, Jess. Awesome to be here with your group. And I hope this resonated for all y'all. I'll be in the breakout session, and can't wait to chat then.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chelle. This is our virtual cloud, everyone. You're on camera. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. All right, you guys. So the second half of our program is, or the second part of our program is all around hiring companies. And so we have Elizabeth Barron and Danielle Shaw with Goodwill of Central and Northern Arizona. And oops, I lost my screen. Sorry about that. And they are dedicated to recruiting for the corporate openings at Goodwill of Central Northern Arizona. And Danielle joined Goodwill's recruiting team a couple months ago, and Elizabeth has been with Goodwill for 9 years. And they're both supporting in different positions throughout the company. They're both excited to share with you not only the openings at Goodwill that their growing team has, but the perks of joining their team. So please help me welcome Danielle and Elizabeth. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, hello.
Good morning. Hi. Well, good morning. My name's Elizabeth Barron. I'm one of the corporate recruiters here at Goodwill. I've been with the company for 9 years. It was back in October. So if you're looking for a company where you can grow, looking for advancement, Goodwill offers that to you. And I can use myself as an example. I actually started here as a temp, as an admin in the admin department. Then I promoted into several roles throughout these 9 years. And here I am on the last position, which it was where I wanted to get to. It was my goal to become a recruiter. And thanks to my leaders that I had throughout these positions, they helped me get here. So Goodwill can offer you that opportunity to advance. Our mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and building stronger communities. We try to end poverty through the power of work. And to further our mission, we have one of our very own Excel Center coming up in August of next year, which is really exciting for us. We're looking so forward to that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Excel Center, but it's a high school for adults, and it already includes daycare. Isn't that awesome? I think that's great. So yes, we're very excited about this and to continue empowering the community. Yeah, thank you. At Goodwill, we strongly believe in our core values, which are trust, collaboration, engagement, ownership, and innovation. Can you move to the next slide? Thank you. As a full team member, we offer a comprehensive benefit package. Some of them are listed here on the screen. You're eligible the first of the month following 60 days of employment. For executive level positions, we also have executive benefit package available.
And hello, guys. I am Danielle. I've been with Goodwill for 3 months, as stated before. I'm your friendly corporate recruiter. It's so refreshing to be a part of a company culture that is striving to change with the times and embrace diversity and inclusion. You know, I've always considered myself to be a little bit of an HR rebel, and I love the fact that my manager and my team embrace my quirky attributes. We have several departments having open positions here in corporate, and we're excited to talk about them. Some of the corporate positions that we have available right now are our HR service specialists. We're hiring recruiters, instructional designers, executive and senior admin assistants, senior accountant, a senior accounts payable specialist, regional representatives, safety admins, system administrators, and a service desk technician. Some of our leadership corporate positions that are available: we're looking for a VP of brand strategy, a director of marketing and mission, VP of real estate, a director of real estate and development, enterprise program manager, a site selector, a lease negotiator, and an economic development specialist. And we're also hiring in our retail. We have district store manager in training. We also have store manager in training and assistant store manager positions. All of these positions are salary positions. And we definitely like to talk about our DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. This committee is very committed to creating an inclusive environment, and we like to stand above the normal corporate culture, the traditional corporate culture that most people are used to. We recently attended our very first Phoenix LGBT Pride event. We marched in the parade with other companies celebrating diversity. Goodwill had a pop-up shop where we had all of our donations going to another nonprofit. We gave away rainbow trinkets for engagement in our spin and win game. We wanted to have, anything to kind of inspire our community. Our line was the longest at the booth the entire weekend at that Pride event. We were so excited. We had such a great time with the community. But that's actually what DEI does. They start programs and they love to implement tangible items and strategies that help balance diversity and a lot of our goals here at Goodwill. Next slide, please. Thank you. Another very dynamic thing that we have here is My Career Matters. My Career Matters started in about 2020 and kind of spiraled into such a step forward for our internal employees. The same support that we offer in the community, helping individuals obtain those full-time jobs. We do like to offer for our internal employees as well. We have certificate programs that help you promote within your company or even externally. We have career coaches that help you, guide you, and cheer you on through all of your challenges and job opportunities. We have digital and essential training, including financial literacy, and it's all offered at no cost initiatives. What company do you know will invest in their internal employees like that? Because those are the type of things that we're doing here at Goodwill. We believe that you really shouldn't have to leave outside of your company to try something new, to step into a new field or a new industry. We like to help foster that. So here at Goodwill, we work together. Our vision is to end poverty through the power of work while strengthening our communities. That's definitely our goal. Do you want to work for a company that you can feel good about? If so, we're here for all inquiries. We would love the chance to discuss your awesome with our awesome.
Thank you, ladies. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the partnership with Goodwill over the years. And so if you guys haven't checked out My Career Advisor program, they also have that available to you. So lots of good stuff with Goodwill. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Now we would like to bring in Jonathan with Vertex Education. And okay, Jonathan, you know I always try this, but Tamavichakul. I hope that's close, but he is a recruiter with Vertex, and where he's holding a blended role where he has been finding top talent at the district office, the school administration, and working with graduates pursuing careers in education for the last 2.5 years. He has a bachelor's degree in psychology with an emphasis in human services. He actually began his career in behavioral health and worked in various capacities, including residential, direct care, and prevention. And then due to the program funding issues, he required a career change and he was recruited into a talent acquisition role. And so he has been supporting hiring efforts and employee initiatives ever since, as he enjoys putting people in positions that align with their wants, strengths, and career goals. So please help me welcome Jonathan. I think you're on mute if you're on, Jonathan.
I am. There I am. Thank you so much, Jessica. I was like, the microphone moved. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you having me here. Big props to Jessica, Sheila, Joey, and everyone else who helped coordinate this. Great speech by our keynote, Chelle, and to all of the employers that are out here today. So thanks again. You're really close, Jessica. It's Tumovichikul, but it was pretty good. I'll give you an A for effort for sure. So with that, yeah, a lot of folks call me JT, but I've been with Vertex for 2.5 years now. And with that, we are what's considered a charter management organization. Out here at Vertex Education, we are what's considered, a corporate office, but not the same corporate office type of feel, right? Without the corporate office feel. We change lives through education. And though we work primarily with legacy traditional schools, we do work with a number of other campuses, but we were founded back in 2007, started off originally as the Charter for Excellence. Then they changed that name to in 2018 to Vertex Education. With that, at our district office in Chandler, we have about 200 staff out there. And again, we handle, as a CMO, what that means is we handle all aspects of operations for the charter schools. So at the campus level, they can focus on what's most important, and that's educating the young ones, right? Building out those scholars, whereas we handle everything in terms of business. So as you can see, the list is pretty massive, but everything from academic support and oversight to human resources, talent acquisition, financing, food services, public relations, our Marcom, I-team facilities, all that stuff. So we have a number of roles in a number of capacities. And even though we have about 200 folks at our district office, at times, oftentimes it's kind of like a ghost town out there, not just because we offer a hybrid schedule where you can be in the office 3 days a week and then remote 2 days, but also because some of those days our team is out there in the community supporting one of the 20 Arizona legacy traditional campuses that are available. So again, we offer support in a number of different capacities, but one of them is being on those campuses directly. So to add to that, who we support, again, our primary client is legacy traditional schools. We have helped them expand to 27 campuses in 3 different states. So we have our 20 campuses out here in Arizona, including what's considered the Legacy Online Academy. So one of the things that came out of the pandemic is we realized that there was a need for online education. And so we have a Legacy Online Academy, but also we have the 3 campuses that are out in Nevada, as well as 4 campuses down in Texas, near the San Antonio region. With that, we support well over 2,200 staff and over 25,000 students. Now, for Arizona alone, because that is where the emphasis and the focus of the campuses are, we have helped legacy traditional schools, if you're not familiar with them, become not just the largest K-8 charter school network out here, but also the #1 rated. And they've been able to maintain that position for the last 7 years. So for those folks who aren't familiar, side note, for charter schools, it's just another choice. It's another option for education for families. It's not where I live in this area code and this is where I have to go, or zip code, this is where I have to go to school. So folks choose to come to a legacy traditional campus. And so for us, I mean, we take a lot of pride in knowing that we've helped get them to that status. And that's not just me talking. You can look it up online. AZ Big Media will tell you that, we've been able to maintain that position with legacy traditional schools for the last 7 years. So the reason that we have helped, I think, achieve some of that is because of what we consider our core values and how we behave. So as an organization, the things that we look for most in any individual that comes through those doors is an innovative mind, a hungry heart, and an engaging spirit. Now, of course, that could be defined or viewed in different perspectives, But ultimately, if you have that type of curiosity, that creativity, if you're a hard worker, you're willing to put in the effort, if you're dynamic and just ready to do the work, right? Because again, we're working with kids and we support them in a variety of capacities. That's what we need from our employees. And that's why we believe one of the key ingredients to our success is finding employees who believe in that. It really resonates with them. So the other thing is how we succeed are what we consider our strategic anchors. So from an organizational perspective, we want to deliver exceptional service. We want to grow smart and we want to value people. And again, that can be viewed in a number of different ways. But the biggest thing is, as a service provider, we do what we need to make sure that those legacy traditional campuses are being set up for success. And again, that goes back to, being out in the community, going to those campuses. With 20 campuses across the valley, I mean, they're widespread, East, West Valley, North Phoenix, and all the way down to Tucson and Casa Grande. So, you got to get out there and provide that support, and that's what we do. So when you come to Vertex Education, we have a ton of benefits that, want to make us an appealing employer, not just working with kids or supporting kids in some capacity, but as you'll see, competitive salary, medical, dental, vision, short-term disability, long-term disability, accidental death and dismemberment. We do offer an employee assistance program, an awesome 401k with a 6% match, work perks, and we offer flexible time off. So one of the other great benefits is coming in our organization. We don't want to have you have to work or worry about accruing your time off. We're professionals here. So whatever time you need, as long as it's under 2 weeks, you put the request in and, whatever can be reviewed and approved. So with that, because we work in education, we get 13 paid holidays, which is pretty exciting. And then, again, mentioning that hybrid schedule, right? We understand that, people have different needs now. And so we want to maintain flexible in that respect, but we still want to maintain that sense of community that we have at Vertex Education, going back to, those core values that we have. Even though it's great that we have technology today and we can even have this conversation as far apart as we are, there's really no better connection than kind of being in the same room and or in the same office and being able to talk to your colleagues, right? So that's how we kind of build those relationships and really try to establish that sense of who we are as an organization. So with that, we also have a wonderful thing, a program at our office called the Culture Crew. So coming to Vertex Education, the Culture Crew, you have different things. You have what's, we call it IC, but it stands for Interdepartmental Collaboration. We have a Power Hour crew, and we have a New Hire crew. We also have a Diversity Inclusion, as well as Health and Wellness. But in all these committees, it's just team members, volunteers, who work together to make sure that we have different programs to make sure that our staff are feeling welcomed and engaged in any capacity. So the one thing is we do these power hours. So each week we take a TED Talk and we have a discussion and we just keep engagement where there's some open conversation. You take an hour out of your day, we get together, you can attend virtually or in person and just have a conversation about a meaningful TED Talk. And we do that, each and every week for our new hires because we understand that, you come into a new role, things are getting a little crazy, you're trying to learn things and everything is getting thrown at you like you're drinking from a fire hose. So we started a program called 15 and 15. So in your first 15 weeks, you have a chance to meet 15 designees from the other departments around the organization. And we make it a game. So you go around, you get a sticker from each department, and it's really just a chance for you as a new employee to come into the fold and feel more welcomed. Again, just understanding who that department is, who those representatives are, how they interact, how your role will function with their role, and just get a better understanding of who we are as an organization. So more encompassing. In addition to that, a couple other perks that you might have coming to Vertex Education is we do have an uncapped referral bonus program. And if you have any students that want to go to school or in K through 8, priority enrollment at any LTS campus, discounted preschool, discounted kindergarten, and we offer a discounted before and after school program called Legacy Kids Care. So current openings. So of course, why most of you are here, right? You want to know what we have to offer. So here you can see a list of some of our available openings. A comp analyst. We have 2 types of construction managers right now, one for development, one for renovation. Even though, again, we're at 27 campus locations, we are looking to expand into other regions, not just Texas and Nevada, but we are actually talking about Colorado. So maybe we'll come visit you, Shelley. Right now, we're looking for a deputy superintendent, an e-learning multimedia developer, an enrollment and marketing coordinator, health services admin, an HR manager, and IT tech for our campuses. So you'd be working at Vertex, but again, you'd be one of those folks who would be out at the campuses on a regular basis, supporting their needs. A recruiter for our campuses, for our legacy traditional schools. We're looking for a payroll specialist, a senior buyer, and a speech language pathologist lead. So an SLP, speech and hearing specialist along those lines. So for all of you folks, if you have any of those skills or talents or interests, please, I encourage you to apply. If you have any questions for me, maybe we can talk in a breakout room. We'd certainly love to hear from you. With that, here's a couple shots of what you could expect if you make that drive out to our Chandler office. This is our, the outside of the building in our lobby. And then here's our Vertex wall. In case you're wondering too, the theme with the mountains, all of our conference rooms are named after mountaintops and ranges, because for us, it's about getting to the top of that academic level of excellence for our students. So this is a little bit about the office layout. Here's our break room. We do have an open floor plan, normally 6 to 8 person pods. And there's a ping pong table and vending machines, if that makes you feel any better. So here's some contact information for you. Please feel free to check us out. I know you're going to get a copy of the slide deck. But again, for all of you folks who are interested or pursuing some opportunities in the East Valley, we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JT. What about the ability to work from home? Do you guys have anything remote right now?
Not fully remote, Jessica. So all of our roles, again, I mean, we were fully remote during the pandemic of sorts, but now it's a hybrid schedule, 3 days in the office, 2 days remote. And again, it's one of those things where, when I started, we were a Monday through Friday type of company, right? Because that's just kind of who they are, but they want to have that sense of community. And they really believe that the best way to maintain that and to secure that is to have folks in the office a couple of days a week. So right now it is hybrid.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Good to see you. All right, we are going to move over to CMS, Community Medical Services, and Megan Kennedy is a Phoenician and a graduate of ASU, where she majored in international relations. Megan has always had a passion for recruiting and networking, has worked for some very large recruitment firms, and currently works for a CARF accredited rehabilitation center, helping individuals recover from opioid use disorder. During the pandemic, Megan has hired over 400 people, and she is looking to continue to hire more individuals as CMS is opening in 2 more states by the end of the year. In addition to clinical positions, Megan also staffs for the corporate center, which is located in North Scottsdale. Hi, Megan, welcome.
Hey, Jessica, thanks so much for having me today.
Absolutely.
And Chelle, I was very excited to see that you are a part of Career Connectors in Colorado, because that's exactly where we're headed.
Awesome.
But I am very excited to share all of the opportunities that we are currently hiring for. I know that's kind of a mouthful about the business that I'm in, so I did prepare a little more information, kind of diving into, who CMS is. So with Community Medical Services, we have been around since the 1980s, and we're still headquartered here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's really in the last 5 to 7 years that we have expanded quite a bit. So currently we are in 9 states, about to be in 2 more. And when I say we have locations all over Arizona, I just wanted to lay it out on the right-hand side where we are. We are continuing to grow, and something with our growth model as well is once our clinics kind of meet capacity and patient census, we know that there's already a need in that neighborhood. So we'll just open up another one nearby. And that's how we have so many locations that are kind of in, the Tucson area or the Phoenix location, because our clinics are being successful. So we want to open up more and more clinics and get more individuals in our program. What CMS does is we help individuals that are suffering from substance use disorders. It is targeted towards adults, so ages 18 and up. And in particular, we do focus in on assisting individuals that are suffering from opiate use disorder, just because that is the most fatal when individuals do not receive treatment for it. So we have medical staff, we have clinical staff, we have support staff, and then of course we have all of your typical corporate roles such as IT, accounting, and facilities. So really a variety of positions that we hire for, including community outreach, which is about my favorite to hire for because it's just so wonderful spending time with individuals that are out there in the community kind of advocating for us. It is a little bit of a complicated subject matter and can be a little bit hard to picture. So I did want to share a video of one of our newer clinics that was opening earlier this year. It's actually one of the 24/7 facilities that we do have, so we can offer a variety of schedules there. And it was really exciting for us to finally get the space for all of these services. So hopefully that can just paint a little bit of a better picture of what we do. And I'm going to be really excited if I get the audio to work, so don't mind me.
We're in the midst of a national epidemic, the opioid crisis. It's getting worse and worse. Community medical services has really found itself on the front lines of this fight because we understand that there's an extreme shortage of treatment throughout the country. The amount of treatment has not grown to parallel the extent of the opioid crisis. There's a lot of people out there who are not getting treatments.
Addiction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't see race, it doesn't see gender, it doesn't see socioeconomic class. Addiction is everywhere. There is no corner of the country that is not affected by addiction.
We're not serving people from outside areas or anything else like that. We're serving your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your colleague. They're really people who live in the vicinity of the clinics.
We're right off of the I-17 and Cactus Road. Off of this corridor is the hotspot for the state of Arizona for overdose deaths. They're dying in their homes, they're dying on the streets, they're dying in their cars. There's a need here.
We opened an enormous facility, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no barriers to treatment. If you just take a look around, it's beautiful, and it was very thoughtfully designed to the color scheme and to the layout so that it's open, it's warm, and it's welcoming. And the location is wonderful. It allows for adequate parking, it allows for movement throughout the facility and potential growth. It is a warm and clean and welcoming environment.
Having such a large location allows us to take care of everything right when you walk in the door. It's the first of its kind in terms of size. The size allows us to continually serve.
When we talk about our vision, it's more than just getting people to stop using drugs. So most people that need treatment don't seek it. And so we started talking about what are barriers that prevent people from getting the treatment they need. We said, but what about just the idea that a patient knows they could walk into a clinic at any time?
There's the medical component of drug use and addiction, but there's also the psychosocial aspects of it. And it's marrying that too, that it's not just the medication and it's not just that, therapy is going to fix everything. It's a mix between the two.
It's a place where an individual can come and decide that they are ready to seek treatment of further addiction. We believe in a therapy approach to it, not just coming to receive medication.
This epidemic has no face. So you see me sitting here, you see me with a nice dress shirt on, and you're wondering to yourself, you're like, I wouldn't think that guy had been incarcerated over 20 times, that he had nowhere to go, that he lost everything and nobody would talk to him. But due to treatment like this, I get to be free. And that's what our patients get to experience as well. They can see hope that things can change, that as long as you are still breathing, you have the opportunity to make change.
We're excited to be here and to have this opportunity to really affect positive change in the community. And we've done a lot of work with the community, meeting with them, talking with them, kind of addressing any concerns that they have so that we could really be a collaborator when we come into this community.
So I just wanted to say congratulations to CMS for expanding, and we really look forward to working with you. We can't wait to see what great work you're going to do.
Perfect. So hopefully that can paint, a little bit of a bigger picture of what we do and a little bit more about our mission, vision, values. It's very important to us that when individuals come into our clinic, whether it's a clinic or the corporate center, that it's a place that's just free of judgment, free of stigma. People feel free, that they are welcomed there. We do have some really great perks. One of my favorite perks, I think, is that we have a huge tuition discount with GCU. We do have off 25% for our employees and their family members, which is huge. So we're lucky to have that partnership there. And then we always have a lot of fun raffles that are going on as well. Right now we have a Thanksgiving raffle. So we are pulling names at our next town hall for a $3,000 raffle, a $1,500 raffle, and a $500 raffle. Just having some fun initiatives for our employees during this time. Immediately upon hire, you are eligible to enroll in our 401k, and we do have a 4% contribution as well. And then we also have annual merit reviews, which is very important because everyone likes to continue on their compensation instead of staying in the same place for forever. So our interview to hire process is pretty simple. I am one of the corporate recruiters here, so I deal with all of our opportunities that are going to be in Arizona and our corporate location as well. And it just does start with an application. From there, I will follow up and we will be able to do a phone interview. At this time, we are still doing virtual interviews, so we would be setting that up via Microsoft Teams. If you would like to come in for a tour, that's definitely something that we could set up as well. And then, we either extend an offer or move forward with providing feedback and then move over to onboarding. So we are hiring in real time. Our next new employee orientation dates are going to be November 29th and December 13th. And here are a few of the selected opportunities, that we are currently hiring for in real time. If you're interested in more of that clinical side, we definitely have a variety of schedules and locations that we're hiring for case managers and counselors, as well as BHTs. If you're interested in, other opportunities that aren't necessarily clinical, we are also hiring for a variety of positions such as front desk, peer support, community outreach, medical billers, enrollment specialists, IT support, call center opportunities as well. All of these positions are going to be 18 and up and are all benefits eligible 30 days after the first date of hire. And then in terms of, if you are looking for an opportunity, maybe in the future, you don't see a location or a schedule that would fit for you, I do want to direct you towards our company website. We do have a career section where you can visit at any time and you can filter the job by location or job interest. You can also make a candidate presence as well. So maybe, you're looking for a change, but maybe you're traveling for the holidays and you're not ready to commit yourself to that search just yet. You can set yourself up with your preferences, what you're looking for in the location. And then when we have that job, we will actually send you an email saying it's open. So that's a really cool perk that I like to point out, kind of tailoring your job search to you and getting alerts when those opportunities are there. And then, of course, the slide deck is coming out, but here are some links I encourage you all to look into. A list of our current open positions, our company website, my LinkedIn, and as well as our YouTube channel where we post videos just showing the work that we're doing in the community as well.
All right, Megan, thank you. Loved that video. That was great. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and Megan will be available during the breakout session if you would like to chat with her. All right, I'd like to introduce you guys to Anna Brambilla. She has more than 20 years of experience in the field of career transition. She has been a career coach, recruiter, outplacement consultant, and relocation expert. And prior to that, she worked in corporate finance and software project management. She holds an MBA in finance and management from the University of San Francisco and a BA in management and economics from Simmons College in Boston. But the interesting thing here is in 2017, Anna was looking for something different. And she happened to attend a workshop on different franchise options and immediately liked the concept of franchising. So she bought her own franchise license with the Entrepreneur Source and has been helping professionals discover options outside the traditional career path since then. So when the pandemic hit last year, we had been getting a lot of feedback about people wanting to do something different. And many of you have probably heard of the Great Resignation or the job shuffle. And that's people that are resigning jobs and looking for different jobs, looking for a better fit. And so we started bringing in some different options. And Anna is one of those. And so she has become a career matchmaker between people and resources. She loves giving people ideas, suggestions, and resources and hope as they navigate this time. And so she is a career ownership coach. She works hard to really understand her clients, and each person has their own dreams and goals and unique set of skills and experiences. Many people come to her not knowing what they want, just that they want something different. And so she helps them identify the vision for their future and then explores ways to achieve that. She's helped hundreds of clients, many people from Career Connectors, And she helps them explore not only their career, but then also look at franchise options in a safe, fun, and educational environment. Most of them don't become franchise owners. However, they learn about the different possibilities and options they never knew existed. So please help me welcome Anna Schulman Brambilla to our event today.
Thank you so much. Many of you may know this. I am a tremendously proud sponsor of Career Connectors and everything that they do. I just so believe in what you do and how you do it. And I'm just in awe of everybody on the team. So a huge thank you to all of you guys. So I'm going to be talking about franchising. And so many people think of franchising as McDonald's and Subway and think those are the only options. But as my clients will tell you, there's so much more. We have a portfolio of a couple hundred franchises and business, turnkey, proven business models. And like I said, we have a couple hundred of them. Only 4% have anything to do with food. So the rest are in things like fitness, kids, seniors, home improvement, home restoration, all kinds of great stuff. And 95%, this is in the 37 years that the Entrepreneur Source has been around, 95% of our clients end up in something they never even knew existed or thought they knew existed, but as it turns out, dismissed prematurely. So we're going to talk about franchising and the significant benefits that franchising might offer. One thing I'd love to make clear is that there is no cost to working with me, absolutely none. If you happen to end up in a franchise, then I would get compensated by the franchisor. But that's the only way that I make money. I don't make money off of charging you guys anything, and that's wonderful. My only goal is to help you learn and explore and discover things that you never knew existed. I did the math recently, I'm 5th generation educator. So it's deep in my blood. And if you ask me what I do, I'm an educator. Sheila, next slide, please. So essentially, what is franchising? Again, people have a feeling that it's McDonald's and Subway and things like that, and that you have to have $1 million+ cash on hand. In reality, the franchises in our system cost 1/10 of that, and I'll talk about that. Essentially, what a franchise is a proven business system. It's turnkey. It's a recipe. I had a client explain it beautifully the other day, and they said that essentially a franchise is like say you're building a boat. So you have a boat, you're given the tools, you're given the materials, you're given the plans. You still have to put it together and advance it, but that's what you do. And that's what a franchise is. Not only that, there's the concept that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that's crucial. I own my own franchise. The Entrepreneur Source is a franchise, and hopefully all of you now have learned something that you didn't know, that there was a franchise called the Entrepreneur Source. So hopefully I've accomplished my goal of being an educator there. So I own my own business. I'm going to be spending next week taking vacation next week. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to worry about having enough vacation. It's my business. I get to decide. I get to decide to sponsor Career Connectors, which is one of the best things I've ever done. But I'm not by myself. I have an entire team of people who literally, their only job is to make me personally and my colleagues more successful. So you see in the middle of the slide, it's a win-win business relationship, and that's crucial. So the more money that I make, the more money that my franchise makes. So they've got a vested interest in making sure that I'm supported and successful. Next slide, please. So franchising is right for any of us who are interested in business ownership. And I have yet to talk to a person, maybe my husband, I think he's the only person I've ever met, who has no idea, has no interest in owning their own business. The majority of us, the vast majority of us have that always thought, I'd love to own my own business. I have clients, the four biggest things that I hear from my clients about the desire to change and to explore options. I'm sick of making a lot of money for other people. I had a client say to me a couple of years ago, and I love this, I am sick of flying coach while my bosses are flying in private jets. I thought that was a wonderful way of putting it. I'm sick of working with meetings. I'm sick of the politics, and I'm sick of working for jerks. I've heard all of those. I can identify with all of those. And so a lot of people. And what I love is I provide a safe place simply to explore. There's absolutely no commitment, no obligation besides keeping an open mind, no cost, as I mentioned. So a franchise is a proven business model with brand recognition. It's turnkey, and they give you support at every step of the way. Next slide, please. So we're going to talk about some myths. So there's some very, very common myths about franchising. Next slide, please. So first of all, that this is generally how franchising breaks down. And yes, generally in franchising, there is a fair amount of fast food, quick service, all that stuff, food related. That's generally franchising. In our portfolio, as I mentioned, only 4% have anything to do with food. Next slide, please. So these are the myths that we're going to be going over. Next slide, please. So finding the right franchise will make me successful. Dirty little secret in franchising is that almost anybody can make a franchise work. As long as you have the right attitude, you follow the system, and you're coachable. It's like a recipe. If you follow the recipe, you have excellent chance for success. If you don't follow the recipe, well, then, there's a little bit less of a chance for success. I can only find success doing something I love. So not true. I can tell you that some of the most successful franchises and franchisees are people who ended up in something that they never expected. Cleaning, for example, they might say, I don't want to be cleaning houses. Well, you're not cleaning houses. Instead, what you're doing is you're providing employment to people who need it. You are going out there and networking. You're helping people. Let me tell you, cleaning may not be the most sexy thing, but I love Tuesday evenings when I come home and my house is clean. Talk about making a difference in my life. I absolutely love that. I'll know it instantly the moment I see it. So not true. I can tell you story after story after story of clients who I presented models to, and they hated all three of them initially, hated them. I had one client, I'll tell that story another time, but I had one client who was really, really mad at me when I presented models. He told me the next week, he goes, I was so pissed at you, Anna. I thought you hadn't listened to me, and ended up in one of the franchises that he initially hated. And man, is he doing fantastically well. Myth number 4, I can't be in a business I know nothing about. They will teach you everything. And in fact, they often don't want you to have specific business experience. They're looking for people with leadership. They're looking for people with business management. They're looking for people with a great attitude. I bet that applies to 99.9%, if not 100% of the people on this call, on this Zoom meeting. Next slide, please. I won't have any control. In reality, that's not true. Certainly there's some franchises. I think of McDonald's as a particularly one that they have very strict standards, and that's great. But so many franchises allow you to do things the way that you think are going to be the best. And goes back to, I can't be creative in a franchise. So not true. Franchising allows you to have tremendous flexibility and creativity and things like that. And in fact, so much more so than most corporate jobs. And finally, most franchises cost a lot of money, and much more than I can afford. First of all, there are funding options that are tremendously available. There's lots and lots of funding options. And not only that, franchises in our system, Total first-year investment is between 75, for the majority of them, are between 75,000 and 150 to 200,000. Certainly not a lot of people have, extra couple $100,000 in their back pocket. Oh yeah, sure, I'm going to buy a franchise today. But funding is very readily available, and I have lots of great funding options. And we have some that are in the much lower than that too. Next slide, please. So shift your mindset. I love what Chelle was saying. And in fact, I'm going to reach out to her and get on her calendar because I'd love to talk to her more about it. It's all about the mindset. It's all about exploration. I love working with people who have an open mind and are looking to explore what else is out there. As Jessica mentioned, the majority of my clients don't end up in a franchise, and that's great. I love it. And I get clients all the time that say to me, wait a second, Anna, you worked with me for weeks or months or even years in some cases, and I didn't end up in a franchise. And my point is, I don't care. I'm completely detached from the outcome. The only thing I care about is that you learn. And I think that's the last slide, if I remember correctly, Sheila. Again, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Highly, highly recommend that you think about that. My contact information is on the website. I can also post it into the chat, and would love to have a conversation. No cost, no obligation, just talk. I also have a 15-minute option if you just want to check in quickly. And I think that's the last slide. I have to remember this myself. Sheila, do you mind the next slide, please? And that's it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Anna. We love having you here. I'm excited you're going to be here in a couple weeks so I get to actually hug you and see you. So that's awesome.
Me too. I'm so excited.
So thanks again for being here, all of our speakers. We're going to allow everyone to go into breakout sessions in just a couple minutes. I would like to go over just a few things as we close up here this morning. If you have any feedback for us, please shoot us over an email at contact@careerconnectors.org for us to review. If you have any companies you'd like for us to pursue or topics you'd like us to pursue, please shoot a note. If you have any feedback about the speakers today, that would be wonderful as well. Thank you to our partners to helping make this program happen, not only around the Phoenix area now, but nationally. And so thank you for all your support, and we are incredibly grateful. All right, we have a couple resources for you today. So Shelley talked about an assessment that she had available for you, and so many of you can take that. I took it during the session. It took me about 10 minutes to click through. We also offer the DISC assessment at no cost for you. It's typically $99 and it's free for you. And that will give you some insight into your behavior style and some information you can actually use to integrate into your resume or into your interview. We also recap all of our webinars, and that will be available on our recap page within the next couple days. And then you can connect with us on any of our social media platforms. We would love that. We do a lot with LinkedIn in the LinkedIn group. All right, so we have some great events coming up to round out the year. We are having Trevor Houston in. He's LinkedIn Navigation Career Success. Go out and look at him on LinkedIn. He's a radio show host, and he has a ton of contacts, and he does a lot around career transition. So he will be with us, as well as Freedom Financial Network, Best Company, or Blue Shield Blue Cross, and Funko, which is a new company here in Arizona. And then on December 14th, I am so excited to be the last keynote of 2021, Land Your Perfect Job in 2022. And so I get to speak once a year, and this is the topic I'm going to do this year, and it's the last event of the year for us, for Career Connectors. We'll have Sun Health and the Entrepreneur Source will be back, and Freedom will be talking about their jobs as well one more time. There may be one or two more additional employers at those events, so look for our emails. And then in 2022, our calendar is being set right now, but we will continue the virtual events. We will likely integrate in live events, at least in the Phoenix area for now. And they will be starting January 13th. So two Thursdays a month for 2022. All right, so if you are not registered for our emails, which if you registered through Eventbrite, for this event today, then you will start getting our emails on Monday mornings that talk about the events that are coming up. But if you are not registered, feel free to go out into careerconnectors.org and register for our events. Thank you to our volunteers. You guys are awesome. We really couldn't do this program without the wonderful volunteers that are here, that support us when we're live, when we're in person, and when we're virtual. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for all your expertise. If you are interested in volunteering, we are looking for adding in a whole bunch of volunteers next year. We have a new volunteer program that we will be adding more roles, more options, so that we can spread the word and provide these resources to even more people. So careerconnectors.org/volunteer if you are interested. All right, you guys, we are a 501c3, a nonprofit, and we are coming to the end of the year. Giving Tuesday is right around the corner on Tuesday, the day after Thanksgiving, or the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Giving Tuesday is a national giving campaign. So if you are interested, we are doing a 10 times the impact. And that is, we are asking people to give $10 to Career Connectors, and then also tell 10 people. And that is our 10 times the impact. And we are hoping to be able to take those funds and be able to serve more people in 2022 than we've ever been able to serve before. So we greatly appreciate anything you are interested or possibly interested in donating, either now or when you land your next career. Guys, thank you for being here. We're going to move into the breakout sessions, and I'm going to hand this off to Sheila Coulomb to walk you through that process. But just know that me and my team, our entire Career Connectors team and the volunteer team, that we are praying for you, that you land into the career of your dreams. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Jessica. All right, so we will go into breakout rooms next, and I feel like this is kind of old hat for a lot of people, but here are the people that we expect to have rooms. Our keynote speaker will be here with a room, Goodwill will have a room, Vertex Education, Community Medical Services will all have rooms, and then we have a professional certified resume writer. Maureen is here, and I want to say, if you do want your resume reviewed in person, go see Maureen first, because she has to drop off before 11:30. And then we also have a couple people to help you with your LinkedIn profiles. Kitty and Barb are here. And then we have a career coach, Bruce Matos is here with us. And then if you have any questions about your finances, Gian Boldy will have a room and he can answer those questions. Next, I'm just going to show a quick video about how it will work when I open up the rooms. Okay. When a host opens breakout rooms, allowing participants to choose which one to go in, down in your toolbar, you're going to see the breakout room icon pop